All right, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Hawashai, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Hawashai, Brakta Yahweh, Brakta Hawashai, Kawpla Yahweh, Brakta Hawashai, Brakta Kakadash, double honor to the older apostle of great mills from Woolwell, Mr. Taitate to the Oshio that put to the truth, across the four corners of the earth to the fear and power of Yahweh, Brakta Hawashai, that the hope of elect, Taitate to the Israelite foreigner and scattered amongst the nations, that believe in the name of Yahweh, Brakta Hawashai. Shalom to the sisters and family, tune into the gospel, preach around the whole world, peace and mercy to you. And who the world inwardly called God is named Yahweh, and who the world inwardly called Jesus Christ named Yahweh Shai. Or the Hebrew Israelite that consisted of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and those in line descendants go back to one of the 12 tribes of Israel due to the scattering amongst the nations. All right. Now, it's Mahari Call from the Great North Los Angeles camp, and I want to do a quick video on this. Shout out to the elder brother Barack in our camp. Posted this article. And was good going into the history and the different prominent people, all right, and whatnot. So I just wanted to take this video, all right. This is the Galvarino, the Mapuche warrior with knife for him, all right. So he had knives instead of him, and you get into the story of how that happened, all right. First off, let me get this because it's taking up like comic book and stuff. The first one is she got trying to remember who it was. This guy right here, Razor Fist, alright. One of the superhero with knife hand, alright. Of course Wolverine and whatnot. It's to show you that um all information of the comic book superhero come from Israel, come from Jake. Alright, it comes from you still called Negro Latino Native Americans. Alright. That's why our spirit resonate with the superheroes in the comic books, you know? The scriptures is Jeremiah 10 and 15. The portrait of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. Alright? Right, he's the former of all things, was the one that started all this stuff, alright? And it's given to us through the fear and power of Yahweh Shai. Alright? And Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord Yahweh shall try to hold is his name. Alright? So we're the former of all things. The information comes from us, the Israelites. Alright? So back to the article. Let's do this. One more picture. Galvarino. Alright? This thing of this comic book with the Wolverine. Alright? Back to the article so I can. It's therefore, as long as there has been war, there have been warriors who have found a second life on the battlefield, bloody, maimed, shot, cut open, stabbed. They are the ones who should have perished, but who nevertheless managed to stay alive and keep fighting. Then there's Galvarino, a warrior who not only overcame a brutal injury, but who actually used it to transform himself into something straight out of the worst nightmare. Alright? 500 years ago, in what were the early years of South America's protracted or Orayuko War, an army of Spanish conquistadors, which are Edomite, so-called white men, all right, and essentially, because of the curses, all right, then the enemy will come from far, all right. That's in Deuteronomy chapter 28. It's the routed several thousand Mapuche Indian in the Battle of Laguna, Lagunella in south central Chile near the Bio River. All right, I believe Devilline. All right, Devilline. Instead, the Spanish captured 150 Mapuche prisoner, among them a young chieftain named Galvarino, and marched them back to the Spanish encampment. After a swift and no doubt impartial trial, Governor Garcia Hurtado de Mendoza, the Spanish leader, Edomite, all right, so-called white man speaking Spanish, ordered the troop to severe the right hand and nose of each warrior and to cut off both hands of leader like Galvarino. The gruesome act would be a message to the Mapuche, submit or else. According to Mapuche legend, after Galvarino left hand was hacked off, he bravely offered up his right and watched the hatchet fall without flinching. He then asked his torturer to deliver the killing blow, a request that they declined. Galvarino and a dozen of other mutilated warriors were then free and ordered to tell the Mapuche general Cayupolican or Pilokian to surrender and prevent further bloodshed. Galvarino did no such thing. Instead, he urged Capilocian and his people to continue to fight against the Spanish intruder, as described by Pedro Marino de Lobera in Chronicle of the Kingdom of Chile. Galvarino went before the Mapuche, handless, arm raised in the air, and told them that what has been done to him, the Spanish would do to everyone else if they gave up. My brethren, why have you stopped fighting the Christians? The damage they have done since they entered our realm, and what they have done to me, is what they will continue to do if we are not diligent in destroying the in, injur- oh, injurious people, all right, causing injury. Scripture real quick. That came to mind. I quoted earlier, all right. Genesis 28. Like it's not Genesis 28, Deuteronomy 28. Oh. It's Deuteronomy 28 and 36. The Lord Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy father have known, and there shalt thou serve other God, wood and stone. All right. That's what ultimately, he said he's Christian because they was bringing that Christianity. All right. Stagere Borgia. All right. The image. Thus word Lobera noted are often more effective in tight war than the hand of Hercules in the industry of the Caesars. Capolican declared that the Mapuche would strike back against the Spaniards, and he named Galvarino as one of his commanders. But what good would a handless fighter be against the enemy? Very little, as Galvarino knew well. What he did next made him a legend. Before the next offensive, he fastened knives to both of his wrists. There's no record of how big the knives were or how sharp, though we all no doubt like to imagine long gleaming blades sprouting from his stump. Historian Leslie Ray has referred to them as lances, and note quite practically that the Mapuche must have had very effective cauterization technique to even allow Galvarino to attempt such a feat. On November 30, 1557, less than a month after his capture, Galvarino was on the front line of what became known as the Battle. What the heck happened? That's the Battle Miller Rapu. The plan was to ambush the Spanish encampment and overrun Mendoza before he could turn his artillery and horses on the warriors. But the Mapuche framed their trap too quickly, and the fight initial success as at timing Mendoza cavalry. Oh yeah. The commander managed to hit the native attackers with cannon fire, opening up a theme for his horsemen to ride through and sow chaos. And all 3,000 Mapuche were killed, compared to only minor injuries and scores of dead horses on the Spanish side. There were also several hundred Mapuche captured, Galvarino among them. There's little evidence relating Galvarino's performance during the battle. Geronimo de Vivar, a Spanish soldier who later wrote an account of the Arauco War titled Chronicle, wrote that Galvarino motioned his warrior forward with his blade arm, yelling, "Nobody is allowed to flee but to die, because you die defending your mother country." Oh, and it's sorry, the brother Rock put the description down. It's Judges 5 and 18. It said Babylon and Naphtali were a people that jeopardized their life unto the death in the high places of the field. All right. So they were known for doing that. There's one more. This is the. I should have brought this out earlier, but we're here now. This is First Chronicles 12 and 33. It said a Debilon such as went forth to battle, expert in war, with all instrument of war 50,000, which could keep rank. They were not of double heart. All right. So, expert to war. All right. And you reading the NLT, it said from the tribe of Debilon, there were 50,000 skilled warriors. They were fully armed and prepared for battle and completely loyal to David. All right. That's the type of warrior they were. Okay. And you can see that Galvarino had displayed that in the story. All right. So if you want to read the whole thing, I'll put the link in the description box. But yeah, it's a good story, man. You know, Galvarino, all right. It changed his hands for blade. Okay. So yeah, just wanted to touch up on that. Jacob is a form of all things. All right, like I said, we is what inspired the superheroes and the comic books and stuff. So with that, shalom.